Okay, CCMers, we're talking seventh chords built from major and minor triads. So if you're cooking a pasta sauce, for example, some of you like to put heavy cream in there and all these ingredients and stuff to thicken it up, give it a lot more flavor. Some of you are bare bones, salt, pepper, let's go. So seventh chords are a tool that you could use to add a little bit more flavor to your triads. Sometimes they're the right move for your song, sometimes they're not. But we're going to look at 4 of them today. If you know how to build your major and minor triads, starting from, I don't know, let's say here. We know that a major triad is 4 half steps plus 3 half steps. So what happens if we add another third on top of this? Let's say a major third, which is 4 half steps. So from this top note, we go 1, 2, 3, 4 up, and we get this sound, which is what's called a major 7th chord. Take a listen to it. Really bright, sunny, carefree, sort of lazy Sunday kind of sound. And it's one of the most beautiful sounds that you could have. It sort of just is a richer version of that major triad. However, what if you take that major triad and you put a minor third on top? 3 half steps. So 1, 2, 3. You get this sound. What's called a dominant 7th chord. Very different color than the major 7th chord, even if it's 1 half step difference. This is sort of on the bluesier side. It sort of is a little bit more tense. It asks kind of a question that needs to be answered. You use them in very different ways, and they have very different effects on the listener, despite being only a half step different. So then let's say we take that same root and we build a minor triad on top of it, which we know is 3 half steps plus 4 half steps. You get this sound. So if we put a minor third on top of this sound, 1, 2, 3 half steps, we get this, which is what's called a minor 7th chord. And it's got a little bit of melancholy to it, a little bit somber, darker, kind of a rainy Saturday afternoon kind of vibes. But what happens then if you take this minor triad and you put a major third on top? So you add 1, 2, 3, 4 half steps. You get this really intense sound, which is a minor major 7th chord. One of the more strident sounds you have access to. Think about like the ending of some noir film or James Bond or something like this. You get this sort of sound. Or if you know a song like Golden Lady by Stevie Wonder, right? Golden Lady. This sound has the minor triad plus the 1, 2, 3, 4 major third. It's part of a common pattern when you have this sort of descending treble note here that you hear in everything from Stevie Wonder to all kinds of things. So there's a whole bunch of other 7th chords that we'll get to, but try messing around with these 4 and experimenting with their color, their usage, and trying to connect with them based on how they resonate.